What's up? This is Craig Mabbitt from Escape the Fate, and you're watching Heavy New York.
Heavy New York!
What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York. We are back at Webster Hall, and we got Craig Mabbitt of Escape the Fate. Thank you for your time.
Of course, man. Of course.
It's so awesome to have you here. We had a great phone discussion back at the This War Is Ours anniversary tour while I was sadly at Louder Than Life. I didn't get to see it. But it's so awesome to have you here. We'll just get this question out of the way now. I Am Human, the latest record, is now the 2-year-old mark. Could we be expecting anything fairly new from Escape the Fate?
Oh, absolutely. We've already been updating our socials here and there. We already went in the studio with Feldman, who produced This War Is Ours, for a couple weeks. We're going back in March to wrap up the record, so...
Oh, that's awesome.
Coming soon. So announcements fairly shortly, hopefully, and I'm really, really excited about it. A lot of bangers.
Yeah. You know, this could just me being a fan of the band, but like if you played me 30 seconds of a song, I could tell that that's off of This War Is Ours, that's off of Ungrateful, that's off of Hate Me, etc. So is it fair to say that Escape the Fate takes like a new approach to every album, or is there kind of like a formula that you stick with?
I mean, I honestly would say if you're able to recognize what album it is, then that answers the question before you even finished asking it. Yeah. And I do also think that this newest album, although it sounds like Escape the Fate, I think you're going to be able to distinguish it from the other ones fairly easily as well. So I like it in a very good way. It scares me in a very good way, that I'm excited for it, and we're kind of pushing the boundaries of what we have done. But I think that's the beautiful thing of, number one, making music, and number two, being in a band for this long is experimenting and trying new things, and that's what I love about this record. Well, the one that's about to get announced.
Well, do you like go into like the studio or songwriting mode with like a preconceived idea of like this is what we want to do, or do things kind of like happen like organically?
It happens organically for us. We've never done a why am I drawing a blank on the word? Like a concept album.
Yeah.
So this album cycle, and like every album cycle with Thrasher, it's been, you know, he'll have a bunch of demos, I'll have a bunch of vocal ideas, we'll put them all together, we'll see which ones work. And this time we had sent Feldman countless demos. Kevin, I think, like had 20 or 30 tracks. I sent like 15, 20 voice memos, and we got there first day and just started something brand new. So it was pretty awesome, and that's how we did this newest one. Was every day we came in, we did a song a day. Wow. So it was like every day I went to sleep thinking, damn, that song was sick. Mm-hmm. I wonder what we're gonna do tomorrow. Then we'd make another dope one and another dope one. So it was like the most exciting time I've had working on a record, because it was just so new and fresh every day. We'd come in knowing we're gonna do something new today. So that was fun.
That's awesome. I think if it always starts to feel the same, then like you kind of got to go back to the drawing board.
And if you start working on something too long, it's like clearly this isn't working. We should just move on and work on something else. Definitely. You know.
Now, in addition to like having many different sounds, I just feel many different vibes from your music. Like a song like Issues is very different vibe from a song like Ashley or something like that. So is it fair to say that like maybe the songs represent like what you were kind of like feeling at that time?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's where I mentally go lyrically, is what has happened in my life since the last album. And that's what I'll kind of put into the music. So it definitely has a lot of, you know, personal stuff in it. And then sometimes for me, if I'm listening to just like a musical demo that Kevin sends me, I'll think of a melody, and that melody will sound like a word, and I'll just start writing the lyrics based off of that. Like, what does this melody sound like I'm saying? And I'll kind of write to that. But, yeah. Yeah,
so you try to capture a moment within the...
Exactly, yeah. I Am Human specifically was our first track we ever did, where it was just straight up a voice memo, and Kevin created the music and production behind it from scratch. So I was like, wow, that's insane. Like, that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a ballsy move, because nothing could be more heartbreaking than having like the best lyrics ever and then seeing how they go one syllable over like each arrangement.
Oh, dude, I tiptoe around my own shit. I walk on eggshells. Like I'm one of those dudes, and I think that was my initial text to Thrasher was, "Yo, man, I just wrote this. I think it's really cool, really deep. I really like the lyrics." I was like trying to talk it up as much as I could, but he got it. He's like, "Dude, I love it." And he built something around it and became the title track for the album, and I couldn't be happier.
Perfect. Kind of going back to the moment, though, I like asking artists this because, sometimes you're working on a song for a couple days, a couple weeks, even a couple months. So, like, do you find, like, the
Never
long...
work on a song for a couple months.
Hashtag Chinese democracy.
For a couple months?
13 years?
On one song? We have?
Fuck yeah.
Jeez.
6 months.
Well,
Actually,
like,
that is very true, actually. I have no concept of time anymore.
well, if you work on a song longer, does that kind of make it harder to kind of maintain that moment that you're trying to express?
I think so, and that's why I say, like, you shouldn't work on the same song for months. I mean, if it comes down to working on the song that you've already written and, like, getting it right, making it sound the best you can, working on the production, that's a different story. But if you're trying to work on the same idea, it's like, just move on to the next one. Like, I never want to sit too long with a song, and I think I feel that way because of my experience just with Escape the Fate. Is most of our hit songs that people end up liking the most off of every album were songs that came last minute. It was like, yo, let's do something, let's do this, cool, and then it ends up being like the most popular song off the record. So
Wow.
I just feel like we work best, or at least I work best under pressure.
Yeah. And then if you work on a song forever and nobody even recognizes it, that's got to make you do all the violence on the drywall in your living room.
Yeah, there's been plenty of, I love this song, I'm really into this song, it's a B-side. Plenty of times.
And sometimes, like, the song you leave off the record could be a B-side and just be the biggest hit you'll ever have.
Oh, the worst is when your drummer tells you, yo, the song should be a B-side, and then after the album's been out for a year, he goes, yo, this should have been on the album.
Oh, God. Yeah, I can...
He did. He said
One thing I was really curious about is actually because being such a prolific artist, between Escape the Fate, Your Time Will Bless the Fall, and you played with The Word Alive, like, is there like a usual method behind the madness that applies to any project that you're with, or is it like a different mindset altogether?
I wouldn't say there's necessarily a method to the madness. It just I don't know. I just every band or artist I've ever worked with, I just like to encapsulate what the sound of the music is. If I hear something heavy, I want to go fucking heavy. And I think it was my buddy Caleb who is killing it with Beartooth right now.
Shout out to them.
I was working on a Dead Rabbits album, and he's like, "Oh, that's interesting." And every time there's like a open, like, double bass on the drum part, I always have a tendency to, like, write a melody. He's like, I would have went heavy there, but the melody sounds kind of sick. Like, that's cool. And that's what I love most about doing co-writes and things like that, is it's always cool to see how someone else interprets the music and what they would do to it. And it kind of opens how you work on something, like your creativity and your horizons and stuff. So
Your music does have a good tendency to, like, fool people. Like, when I first heard Issues, I remember just hearing the opening riff to that and just thinking it was going to be like an epic breakdown and, like, all screaming, and then I was just like, okay, I was wrong. So
yeah.
Now, one thing, this is actually, even though I've listened to you for years, this is going to be my first time seeing Escape the Fate tonight. It was supposed to be at the This War Is Ours anniversary, but
feel all pressured and stuff.
But is there maybe a similar energy that you put into your live presence as you do when you are in songwriting, or are they like two completely separate arts altogether?
For me, it's definitely two different animals, for sure. In the studio, I have headphones. I can completely hear myself. I'm one of those people that I hate the sound of my own voice. So it's like the studio, I'm so exposed. You have that huge clear glass right in front of you where you have the producer, who's got plaques all over his wall with the best artists in the world, your whole band, and it's like, all right, I'm going to give you the click and do your thing. And it's like, oh God. But live, it's like, just get out there and have a good fucking time,
It's like more open to just really
it's
doing
like, get out there and do your thing, have some fun, like, smile, high five some people, you know what I mean? Just have fucking fun. It's a live rock show, so definitely two different things, for sure.
And the final question I wanted to ask you is that, I think you guys have some of the most dedicated fans. Like, when I'm at a show, my job is to kind of be like a pain in the ass of the fans, be the journalist and be like, so what has this band done for you? And I was asking a couple people online about that. And I've heard stories that, like, you couldn't even imagine on how much your music has helped them through difficult times. When you hear on how people grow up with your music or how it's helped them, does that change how you look at yourself as an artist differently?
it definitely adds a level of pressure when I go in there. You know, you want to attempt to give back in a way, in any way that you can, like with the music or your lyric writing or whatever you're doing. But I just think it's amazing, and every time I hear a story like that, I just always tell them, I'm like, I didn't help you do shit. Like, I might have been the background music to your strength and what you push through yourself. It's like, I mean, imagine getting a massage. The music's not rubbing your back. It's there to just help soothe you.
Yeah.
You know, so that's just what I tell everybody. I'm like, listen, you got yourself through it. I want you to give yourself some credit. But that's awesome that, you know, you were jamming my music during those rough times.
Yeah.
But I always just tell people, you know, you just got to give yourselves more credit, man.
Yeah. I've always thought you have some very strong fans as well. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We've heard some crazy stories, and I can't believe the resilience that a lot of people have.
Yeah. Definitely.
People are strong, man.
They are.
Yeah.
So before we go, I'd like to thank you so much for your time today. Is there just
course.
anything else with Escape the Fate that you would like to promote? This will be uploaded by midnight, so if it hasn't been announced.
Snap. Come out to the Drug and Me is Gold tour with Falling in Reverse and Word Alive. We're having a great time. The fans have been amazing. And keep your eyes peeled. Follow us on our socials because we have announcements coming very soon about the new record.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Craig.
thank you, brother.
Everybody, Craig Mabbitt of Escape the Fate. New stuff coming very soon. This is Alex from Heavy New York. We'll see you next time.